Hello everyone, my name is Havian, and today I'm going to be playing some Sword Art Online RE Hollow Fragment, and this time I'm going to be showing you how you can get some EXP on the PS4 version. I know I've made a guide about the Vita version of the game before, but I'm going to be showing you how you can get XP on the PS4 version. It is very similar to the Vita method, but with this method in the PS4 version, you will actually be able to get more EXP and a lot faster EXP than you would have on the Vita. So all in all, it's going to take a bit more preparation, but the results are going to be much better. Alright, so here's what you need to do to prep. The first thing you're going to need are a few weapons, a few bits of equipment, and some items to get yourself started. So the items you're going to need are the EXP potions. Those give you plus 25% of EXP boost, and you can get those from the northwest blue chest in the Amber Abyss. Each time you open this treasure chest, you can get 5 of the EXP, the larger EXP potions. There was another method I showed earlier for how to get EXP potions and accuracy potions, but this treasure chest is guaranteed to give you 5. There are going to be times where you get a cape instead of EXP potions, but that's very rare, and it's probably a cape you're going to want to keep if it's something you don't already have. Make sure you have Philia with you to open the treasure chest, because there are going to be enemies surrounding it, and you would usually have to kill those enemies to get the chest. I would recommend using a Veil potion so you can run directly to the chest from the spawn point. And this is probably going to be something you'll be better off doing in single player, because once you either teleport out or go back to the terminal, all of the hollow areas will reset. So you can just select the area and head back in, and everything will be there again for you. The next thing you'll need is a Demon Blade Gram, which is a great sword that has True Strike. There are a few other True Strike weapons in the game, but I would recommend using this weapon because it's going to give you the best results. It's the final weapon you unlock in the Greatsword series of implements, and to get to it you're going to need to complete the implements for Durendal and Durendal. For the Durendal Sword, the best way I can recommend to unlock it is to do the Attack of the Female Warrior Ants Hollow mission. In the area with this Hollow mission, you will find there are spiders that you can take breath attacks from, because to actually complete the Durendal implement you need to take breath attacks from a certain amount of enemies. Just gather up as many spiders as you can, take all the breath attacks, and then get the implement done. There are probably other areas you can do it in, but this is just why I used to do it. For the Durendal, I would recommend doing Lust of the Young Kobold Lord. This boss is in the Sea of Trees, and he's pretty much directly in the area where you start the game in. I would recommend stepping into a circle, activating the Hollow mission, then running in front of the temple, pulling a few of the skeletons that have shields, and do auto attacks on them. I'd recommend using skills and equipment that has double attack, attack speed, and crit increase to complete these implements. Durendal is pretty easy to complete because the sword will attack really fast, but Gram may take a little bit of time, but you will be able to use the exact same method to complete that implement because Durendal and Gram follow the same set of requirements. The second piece of equipment you will need apart from Demon Blade Gram is going to be your Crimson Gauntlets. Now the reason these are important is because they ignore the enemy's defense. These are obtained from implements as well, but I don't really need to go into how to obtain them because they are fairly easy to get. Another thing you'll need is some Exp Gear. They're not essential, but it's going to help you in the long run, and it will let you reach higher levels much quicker. So in terms of Exp Gear, I have the Fairy Cape, the Experience Charm, and the Clover Ring. All of these give EXP boosts, so they're going to add to your total experience after you killed an enemy. Another bit of equipment I use is an SP gain necklace, just for gaining a little bit of SP back for the method I'm going to show you. It's not essential, but it's just something I like to have to speed things up a little bit. Now onto the actual method. For the most part, this method is going to be pretty much the same as what you've seen on the Vita version of the game. But once you reach level 170, EXP is going to start to drop, and you're going to have to make a few adjustments. What you're going to need to do is head to Ice Tomb Road. And once you're inside of there, you're going to need to go into the temple that is directly behind the teleport point. Once you're inside of the temple, head to the back room, and inside of there you'll see many golems. You'll need to gather all the golems you can see, apart from the ones directly at the back, gather them all up together, and then you're going to need to burn them down with OSS skills. Now the reason this method is slightly different from the one on the Vita is the fact that you are not going to be using sword skills with SP. Because your sword skills have cooldowns, you're going to have to be a bit more skilled with them. You're going to have to build yourself a decent OSS. I would recommend a 5-hit one, just so you can burn the enemies down quickly. And this is why you're going to need to have a Demon Blade Gram plus 15. You can probably get away without it on normal mode or in story mode, but once you get into the hard mode, you're probably going to need to have it on plus 15. But once you reach level 170-ish and the EXP starts to go down, you're going to want to switch to hard mode. Hard mode can be done in multiplayer, But the main difference with this is the areas won't reset when you head back to the teleport point. So in multiplayer mode, after you've killed the set of enemies that are inside the temple, you will exit the temple, you'll teleport back to the control area, you'll head back into the multiplayer lobby, and then you'll need to exit the multiplayer lobby and re-enter, then go back to the same area and grind again. And you need to keep repeating this cycle over and over again until you get to the level that you want. And you're going to want to use a certain set of buffs that help you take down the enemies really quickly. So I'm going to go over what I've done, and then hopefully you can either copy the same thing I've done, or you can come up with your own ideas and make it go a lot smoother for you. So for the buffs, I would recommend using your EXP potion, obviously, which is plus 25% EXP boost. Stack that with your gain EXP skill, which is a plus 15 EXP boost. On top of that, I use quick skill, which shortens the skill activation time and cooldown. I also use strength, which gives me a strength and attack boost. I use madness blow for an attack boost, which gives me defense down. But because I'm using crimson gauntlets, my defense is already low, so it doesn't really matter too much if I'm getting a defense down from this. And then after that, I use a lightning attack to give me all of my SP back, because I'm going to need to use the SP for hyper armor. And the reason I'm not using many more buffs is because you don't want to have too many buffs on your character, especially when you're using a greatsword, because if you have too many buffs going off, then your EXP boosts are going to get overwritten. So now after you've used the buffs, onto the actual method. You want to gather all of the enemies that you can, apart from the ones directly at the back. After you've gathered them together, use hyper armor to negate any damage while you're doing your OSS combo. Once you've used hyper armor, then you'll want to start your OSS. The OSS that I use is Blast, followed by Meteor Fall, followed by Lightning, then Brawler Blade, then Astral Hell. After you've managed to pull off this OSS combo, I would recommend stepping away from the golems, because your first hyper armor should be dropping off. But after you stepped away from the enemies and waited for your first hyper armor to completely drop off, you'll need to wait for your SP to reach 300, and then after that, that's when you'll want to use protective armor. This will give you the opportunity to do another OSS chain, and hopefully this OSS chain will finish off the remaining golems that are there. If you do have any more remaining enemies, try to finish them off with any of your remaining skills that you haven't used during your OSS combo. But if you see that there's some golems that are left over with too much HP, just ignore them. Don't waste your time trying to kill them, just exit the area and then restart. Now, as I said before, once you've killed these golems, exit the area, go back to the control area, exit the multiplayer lobby, and then re-enter and then redo this over and over and over again until you've reached a point where you can't really gain stable EXP. Then you'll need to have to increase the difficulty of the game again. And I'll say Death Game will probably take you all the way to level 300, but it's just gonna end up being a lot harder, and I'm pretty sure the equipment you're going to need is going to be optimal so you can take down the enemies really quickly. So in Death Game, I would recommend having all of your sword skills leveled up a little bit, having better equipment, and actually having your weapon at plus 15. I'm pretty sure there are ways you can get away with doing this method still by just using hit potions with another weapon type, but I would recommend using the greatsword mainly because it's True Strike with this sword in particular, and your skills are AoE. Hopefully this helps. You've seen how fast it was for me to get to level 200 using this method, so hopefully this can help you too. And I guess this means that race to 300 isn't gonna be so bad. Probably. But now that I am level 200, I can start on my gear grind. I can get my equipment, I can do a little bit more multiplayer with you guys, and then I can do a bit more EXP grinding to get to level 300. But I will let you know if I come into anything interested along the way. If you know anyone that has been wondering how they can get some decent XP in the PS4 version, then send this video over to them. Let them know that they can come and subscribe, and if you want to join in the multiplayer sessions, then follow me over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Havian. I will be making some more videos very soon, but until then, I'll see you all later.